Welcome to a deadly episode of the Cinema Dash. I'm gonna do that every time we have one of these episodes because it's spooky Halloween specials for the next 10 days. Anyway, I'm Gabbs, and I'm dead. And you're who again?
I'm fucking speechless that you just opened up an episode like that.
Okay, cool. You wanna start?
I'm DeGe,
Okay.
and this episode we're gonna be talking about a movie that we literally just got done watching.
What's your spooky name? Because I'm Gabbs and I'm dead.
I'm Anthony Weejanero, like Ouija, like Anthony Weejanero. Yeah. Keck. Cut.
Anywho, we watched a scary movie.
If you didn't watch the video I uploaded today, not today. If you didn't watch the video I uploaded on the 21st, I had an idea as to where I would start a series. So for the next 10 days leading up until Halloween, I would be reviewing and talking about a scary movie, and it would be a majority one-offs, but maybe Gabbs would join me for a couple, like this one. Mm-hmm. So look for those every single day leading up to Halloween, and then so we watched the movie. Literally just got done watching a movie that I've already seen.
This is the second time we've done this, which was just watch a movie and then review it like literally minutes afterwards.
Yeah. So, I've already seen it, and Gabbs saw it for the first time.
I'm not a big fan of horror movies, so this is one of the 5 I've seen. So we watched Hush.
Yeah, Netflix. So on Netflix.
Hush up, we're gonna review this.
You're making me hate you more and more. We watched Hush, directed by Mike Flanagan, who's also known for doing Oculus, which is one of my personal favorite horror movies.
That's the one with killing Karen
Gillan, yeah, and the mirrors and shit. Yeah, good movie. He did Oculus, which is one of my favorite horror movies. He did Hush, and most recently he's done the new Ouija movie that came out that's getting really good reviews. So I want to see that. Maybe I'll take a friend with me, or maybe you'll go see it with me. Who knows?
I never saw the first one.
You don't. It's a prequel.
Oh.
So it's got like a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes. So.
For now, because I saw that Max Steel had a 7.8 on IMDb for one day, and now it's down to a 5.6.
Oh God!
So always be careful with those.
Yeah. We gotta be careful with those. But I heard a lot of people liked it. So hopefully I'll be able to do it for this segment. If not, then just look for it for a regular Cinema Dash or a regular one-off. But anyway, we saw Hush. What were your first impressions about this movie?
All right, I've heard of this movie. It's it was one of those movies that everyone online was like, dude, this is an amazing movie. You have to watch this movie. It's on Netflix. It's one of those Netflix amazing movies. It's only on Netflix. And I'm like, it's probably not good anyway. So then we just watched it, and I'm gonna give my full opinion about it. So I guess you could say I wasn't really hyped for this movie like everyone else was, because I'm trying to not go with the hype anymore, because a couple movies I've done that with have just been shit.
Yeah.
It's another story for another day.
Yeah. So
part of those stories. You can go back and watch those.
I've heard of this movie as well. I heard it made a splash at Sundance, and then the Netflix bought it for millions of dollars or whatever. And
$7.
A full $7 that they bought this movie
and
for.
38 cents.
Exactly. I heard they bought it, and then I heard they were giving it that exclusive distribution on Netflix. So I was pretty hyped for it because I like Mike Flanagan as director. I thought the gimmick was pretty cool, where the girl's deaf and stuff like that. So maybe they could do interesting stuff with that, some interesting things with that. And overall, the first time I watched it, I was really looking forward to seeing it, and the second time I was equally looking forward to seeing it, because maybe I would see some things that I missed the first time, which I did. And so I was hyped to see it again. So what'd you think of the movie, Ant?
The first half was pretty alright, I have to say, if I do say so myself. But then me and you both mutually agree. Both mutually sounds like it's like not never. You know what I mean? It's like a double negative, but a double positive. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah.
So we mutually just were the ending was not good.
I didn't. Yeah, the ending I would say is the biggest flaw in this movie. But other than that, I think this is a very solid home invasion thriller. Right off the bat, I thought the performance from the main actress was very, very good, and the performance from the killer was also very good. This movie is unique because it's not only because she's deaf, but it's because you get a smart horror movie character versus a smart killer. So it's like a clashing of the minds in a sense, to where both of these people are consistently outsmarting each other throughout this movie, and it was really interesting to see and really added to the tension of the movie.
I really liked all the characters too. I especially liked the cat the most because he was that was the most important
The
character.
cat definitely gave the most involved performance of his movie.
He really made me believe that he was actually a cat. So
Out of this world performance
yes,
from the cat.
Oscar nominated.
The first time
top cats
animal.
Top cats in films.
Watch
Films. Watch Mojo's next list.
Yeah, top 10 cats in films.
And he's probably like number one. Besides Garfield. Garfield the cat is my favorite. Just because Garfield is the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, characters I actually really liked. This is like the one thing I liked about the movie the most. It's the characters. All of them were very, very good. Without her, speaking or anything, because she's mute and deaf.
Yeah.
She says a lot in this movie.
Absolutely.
Which is I actually liked. Which they succeeded with it, which I didn't think they would. I mean, I thought there would be something where they kind of like screwed up, but like it was all very good. I like the fact that like the other characters, like the neighbors, had like that like they were learning sign language to like communicate with her, so it made it more believable, I guess, to me. Like there's like the one stupid part where like I guess like the boyfriend, the neighbor boyfriend was just like on banging on the door and she didn't hear it, which was like weird because like the whole like character arc of her like, oh, I can sense vibrations because everything about me is cool.
She a fucking X-Men?
Yeah, she's like an X-Men. she's like a mutant now.
Yeah, okay.
It was kind of dumb because like actually no, it's like it was more dumb on her part because like why didn't she come sooner? I mean, like that's later on in the movie.
Well, she was in the bathroom, so it's not like she could have heard it.
I mean, there's like a lot of whole like vibration things where she probably could have heard.
I don't know.
Or felt in this case.
I guess. I mean, I didn't really think that. I think that's the kind of thing where it's just like movie, like it's like movie coincidence, where it's like obviously she can't hear it, so she's gonna downplay it. So it's gonna like, so the movie's gonna be like, oh, she can't hear it. What's gonna happen? You know, it's spooky, scary, and stuff like that. Like for instance, in the beginning, when he's like knocking on the door and shit like that, and then like he's stabbing the neighbor up against the door.
Yeah,
and like
that,
she could. Yeah, she definitely would have like felt the vibrations of that. But like it's a movie. You know what I mean? So like she's obviously not gonna hear it, so it's like downplays the effect of just like, oh yeah, I'm deaf and.
I feel like if you just say that, oh, it's a movie, it's like everyone's like excuse for the movie being not good. Like
I mean,
Batman vs Superman, half that shit doesn't make sense, but it's a movie.
It's a movie. But yeah.
But going back to the characters, the main character I thought was outstanding.
Yeah, she was great.
The killer I thought was pretty good. The neighbors I thought were good. The cat is my favorite. And was that also her when she was like thinking about that kind of stuff, like the possible ways to get out of the house?
Yeah, that was her.
That was her as well. Okay, then never mind. I thought it was someone else.
That's one thing that I really liked about this movie was that while the main character was very, very smart, she like. And like when you're in that situation, like a home invasion situation, you're like running through all these scenarios in your head. And I really like how the movie actually literally showed all the scenarios that were running through her head as like the voice in her head was like narrating all of its stuff. I thought that was really, really unique and interesting and stuff like that. But with the killer, I thought it was a really unique take on like a killer and stuff like that, about how he just like they give him like a personality and a lot of like screen time and stuff like that, and they automatically like reveal with like his face and stuff like that. And he's not like a fucked up.
I was surprised by that. They revealed the face already.
Yeah, and he's not like a fucked up like monster or anything like with scars all over his face. Like he's a regular dude.
Yeah, neck tattoo.
Yeah, he's just got a neck tattoo. He's just a regular dude. Like which was I found really, really, really interesting. The first time I watched it, and I mean, like he starts off with a mask and everything, and then he just takes it off immediately.
I wouldn't say
I was like, wow.
I wouldn't say like the murderer was a different kind of killer. I thought like it was just like your generic horror movie character slasher film, whatever, dealing with a different issue. I feel like they're both dealing with an issue that like that they equally had downs and had pros and cons with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, he can hear everything he can hear everything she does, but she can't. But she's in the house and has all the things in the house to defend herself with, where he has the crossbow for a majority of the movie, a knife, crowbar, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
But like everything in the house is up, like is for her. It's her game in there.
Yeah. She's aware of her environment.
Yeah. Where like he's just like, all right, I just know the outside of the house a lot, but the inside I have no clue, and the upstairs I have no clue, and the wilderness around me I have no clue. Like the part where the boyfriend comes is just like, oh, he didn't expect that, so yeah.
Yeah. And what I find really funny about this movie is that, like, while I'm sure it wasn't like the intention of the movie and of like the producers and like the director and stuff like that, but like this movie really highlights how like sometimes like Apple products can be really shitty.
Yeah.
Because like you know how they have like that whole thing where it's like iPhones and like Macs are supposed to like synchronize and stuff like that and stuff like that. So like when she connects to a Wi-Fi network to try to like call for help in the movie, like he automatically like kicks her off the network on her phone because he steals her phone and shit like that, and like he like takes pictures of her with her phone and sends it to her like MacBook and stuff like that. Like I find that really funny. But like I'm sure it wasn't their intention, but like it just kind of like highlights like how sometimes it could be like a really like if you're in like a really shitty situation like that,
Apple's
like
gonna fuck you
Apple's gonna fuck you over like straight up. But
not sponsored by Apple.
not sponsored by Apple at all. But yeah.
I think we said enough with the characters.
Yeah, characters are great. I
like the direction, like the way that like, some of the shots were shot, for lack of a better just sentence. I might kill myself later. Anyway, so like when they're trying to, when she's like doing the crossbow, or she's trying to load the crossbow for the second time, and the camera does like for the first time when when the murderer's killing the boyfriend, and the camera does that turn where it's just like, oh, now it's like horizontal, but it's like it's sideways, so you can see like the crossbow like sideways. I thought I
that was
like
cool
that.
as fuck. Yeah. The direction of this movie is very good. It's very I wouldn't say it's slow paced, but it's definitely on the slower end of pacing and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is definitely like a slower movie.
But like, but that works for its benefit because like it takes its time building up like the tension and stuff like that, and it really.
Yeah, it works for the most part for me.
Yeah.
Like majority of the time, I was just like waiting for the scare to happen because I knew that this was gonna be like a mostly silent movie anyway. So it was just like, well, all right, I'm gonna listen to the music. So whenever the music cuts, it's just something's gonna happen. And like, there was that one part in the more or less beginning of the movie where it's just like she hides in the bedroom and she closes and she like puts the dresser in front of the door, and then like you hear the hand knocking on the window, but like the music cuts immediately, and then you start hearing like so it's just like, oh, it's not really,
and I was really happy that
it's not
like
really suspenseful if all you hear is the music and all of a sudden you just hear it cut. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, but like the thing is, like, I'm really happy that this, because that could have easily been a jump scare. Like, let's be real. I'm just happy that this movie didn't have a lot of jump scares.
I would say that, yeah.
And when they happened, like, they were like, granted, we didn't watch this in a setting where it was like dark and like very moody and stuff like that. So, granted, the jump scares didn't have that much effect.
Just like it's almost 6 o'clock. We're recording this, so like,
so it's like still light out and stuff like that, and you know, there's cars coming by, we had like the windows open. So like, granted, we weren't in an environment to watch this where the jump scares would have been affected. But when I first watched this movie, I watched it at like night with all the lights out and shit like that, and they fucking got me. Like, but like, I think it's unique because like this movie could have had a lot of jump scares in it. Like this was like prime jump scare material. But I was really happy, especially with the scene you were talking about, how it just like the camera slowly moves over to the window and it's just the girl like knocking on the window.
It's more creepy horror than it is like boo horror. You know what I mean?
which I personally found really good for this movie because it could have easily been a jump scare Lollapalooza or whatever. But I do think the direction of this movie was pretty good. It's pretty good.
It was a spicy good.
It was a spicy good direction.
Everything. What else did I like about this movie?
The sound design.
Explain.
Top quality. Well, obviously she's deaf.
Yeah.
So.
Like, oh yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, I like that whole part in the beginning. I like the whole like intro sequence of like her, like introducing you to how she's deaf. Like oh, you see her cooking. You hear all the sounds like of like her cutting the onions and putting like rice in the pan. And then like you see like a slow shot toward the ear, and then all of a sudden everything's mute.
Everything's muted.
You hear just like general room noise. Yeah. Really. I like that.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then also like I
immediately picked up right away. Even though I read the bio on IMDb right before.
No, yeah. It's definitely handled in a very creative way, I would say. And it's just like throughout the movie, like all of the sounds are like elevated and stuff like that. So like it feels like it's what the killer is hearing. You know what I mean? Like, because obviously she can't hear anything that the killer does. So like, if he wants to break in through a window, like she won't be able to hear it. You know what I mean? So like, if she's on the opposite side of the house and he comes in, like she's fucked. So like,
which is like the one main thing I didn't like about this movie, which is just like he had so many prime opportunities to kill her that he just didn't use. But and he uses the excuse, no, I want you to die. I want you to feel like you want to die before I actually kill you.
Yeah,
but
he just wants her to suffer.
Yeah, even though by the end of the movie, like, he's just like, all right, fuck it, you're already hurting me so much, I'm just gonna kill you anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just the sound design of this movie is definitely one of the highlights. I would say it's very, very good. It's very unique the way they handled it, like we said before. I don't know what else did we like about this movie.
What's that movie with oh fuck, I can't remember. It's the guy, he's in the car the entire movie, he's not having conversations.
Tom Hardy? Locke? Yeah, Locke. Yeah, that was a dope movie.
Yeah, this reminded me a lot of that because like it was just the one setting. And like we pretty much knew the whole like setup. We more or less knew the whole like setup of like the house.
Yeah. Like
the kitchen and then like the stairs leads upstairs like into the attic. Which had like which I guess was like had like a spare bedroom.
Yeah.
And like you can go around the stairs and there's like a bedroom and a bathroom and that was basically the house.
Yeah.
And then there's like a deck and you can go under the deck and like it was very laid out and I like that.
Yeah.
So, it reminded me of it.
Yeah, and like that's also just a good continuity. I would say like they don't like switch up that like the house or whatever and stuff like that. They just have like the set environment. And I really liked how they just made excuse me. I really just like how they made good use of the one location.
Yeah.
Like it didn't ever feel like, okay, well this is the living room again. Like we're back here again. Like it always felt like
it wasn't
interesting.
Like, they weren't trying to like to sell you on the house. Like, ooh, this is the living room. Take a look at all this stuff. Now let's go.
Look at this shit.
Now look at the bedroom. Now there's a bed in there. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
Now let's go to the bathroom. There's a huge tub, right? Not do anything.
Model porcelain tub, and you might as well just put a price tag on it for fuck's sake.
Which the movie didn't do, which I was happy about.
And one other thing that I really liked about this movie was the editing. I thought the editing was pretty good as well, especially near the ending. Where if there's one good thing I have to say about the ending, is that the editing was really good.
Yeah.
Like when she was going through the scenarios in her head, like stuff like that, and then she was like showing all the stuff and stuff like that. It like picked up the pace a little bit, which I thought was okay, I guess. But just showing like they didn't have to do that. Like just showing all of the scenarios playing out through her head, like in actual film form, like actually recording and shooting that on the camera. I thought that was really, really cool. And yeah, honestly, that's all the good about this movie I have to say.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go to the.
I'm ready to go to the bad about this movie too.
So yeah, we both mutually agree that the ending. Should we spoil? I mean,
nah.
No
but
spoil?
The ending is just a little stupid. I think
we think the ending should change. Yeah, that's all we're saying.
We both agreed on a mutually, well, at least what we think is a better ending. But yeah, he breaks into the house and they fight. Let's just keep it at that. Definitely, I'm gonna recommend you watch this movie because it's a very good movie, but I don't want to spoil the ending for you because it's a little stupid. Yeah. But yeah. What else didn't you like about it?
No, mainly the ending was the main part that I really didn't like.
Yeah.
The slow, like I mentioned before, the slow parts worked well in one part, in some parts, and really didn't work well with others. Like more or less like the scare. Like this movie wasn't scary for me. Like I didn't like jump out of my seat. Like whoa. I wasn't like I wasn't scared. I guess that's mainly the. If a horror movie doesn't scare you, then like what's the point?
I mean, I really think this is more like a thriller rather than a horror. I mean, like yeah, it's got horror. Fuck it, it's a horror movie, whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. It just feel like
had some thrills, but like they didn't really like thrill me. That's all I'm saying.
I got you. I don't know. It's just like
this isn't Thriller.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I don't know. It's just like with this, it's just like, yeah, I get it, but like I feel like you need to be like in the right environment to really appreciate it. How it's meant to be appreciated.
I definitely feel like if we had a different location to watch this, we probably would have been more scared.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, going back to when I first watched it, yeah, I was like terrified when I was watching this. Yeah. But like that's besides the point because we were in a lit room with like windows open and shit like that, so we heard all like the outside noise and everything. So like obviously we weren't in the right setting. But I wanted to mention one more thing that I liked about this movie was that everything made sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There wasn't any like bullshit moments besides the ending, but throughout the movie there wasn't any like bullshit moments where it was okay, like it shouldn't be happening.
Like yeah, there's definitely parts where like I agree with that. There's no like bullshit in the movie.
Yeah.
There are parts where like why don't you just do this here or why don't you just do that there? And there's also like I mean, and there's.
Yeah, but then again, that boils down to like split-second decisions.
Yeah,
you
also,
know what I mean?
Yeah, it's also more like more toward the ending where this is more represented. But
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not spoiling it.
Yeah. Overall, I loved the movie the first time, but I only like it the second time. You know what I mean? Like, my opinion of it didn't really degrade. It's just like, I think when I watched it the first time, I was just like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But then when I watched it again, I was like, this is still a pretty good movie, but it's not like it didn't come down from the heavens like God himself brought it down on his giant hand or anything, like I thought before.
This isn't the best thing since sliced bread, as I said before. This might be the second best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, there you go. I would,
So you get final score.
you know, you've always been better at this shit than me.
Okay. I would rather write 5 words on a window with my own blood out of 10.
Alright.
I would rather.
Oh! I also wanted to mention one more thing before we score it. I really like the attention to detail in this movie, especially the part when she holds the crossbow and he's got like the tally marks on it to show how many people he's killed. Like I don't know, I just thought that was
That's
cool.
more
As
like
fun.
I think it's more of like an interesting.
It's
fact.
just like a character thing. Yeah, I really like that. But anyway, you gave it what, a 5 out of 10?
I gave it. Yeah, I would rather write 5 words on a window with my own blood out of 10.
I would choose 7 endings to her novel out of 10.
That's a better one than mine.
Nah,
that's better.
It only works in the context of the movie.
Yeah.
But then so does yours. But like whatever.
This whole thing is.
This whole fucking thing works in the context of the
Yeah.
movie. But yeah. 7 endings out of 10.
I would pet bitch 5 out of 10 times.
I would choke out 7 killers and boyfriends out of 10.
I would rather. I would. I had a good one. I totally forgot about it. Fuck, I forgot. I would rather shoot. I'd rather get shot in the leg 5 times with a crossbow out of 10.
All right. So yeah, that's our episode on Hush.
So yeah, I'm Gabbs and I'm dead.
I'm DeGe and I'm still fucking speechless that you opened up the episode that way.
And this is what our outro looks like.